Hello and welcome back to Fatal 12. On the last episode, we have basically stuck with Odette. She warned Miharu of the group's plan, the alliances in quotation marks, and now she's going to see her former ally, Federico. That's pretty much it, really. So no real reason to stick around on it. What's it like drinking on your own, punk? Odette plants herself on the seat beside me before ordering a bottle of some French red wine. I can't help but stare as the deep red liquid cascades into the glass. Its lustrous colour almost puts me in a daze. I gotta say, while Italy may have the best food and wine, France is a close second. That fact never changed, not even after backstabbing Odette. Let's kick this meeting off with some small talk, right? Bit hard when I don't have anything to say to you in the first place. So I say, yet we end up talking about all sorts of stuff while enjoying our wine. We've been working together for over a month. I've gotten accustomed to chatting away with her. Kinda hard to drop that habit cold turkey. You had a thing for me, didn't you? Can you blame him? Odette brings an odd topic out of nowhere, right around the time we finished our first ball. Just sounds like something a kid in school would say. Yeah, it does. I ain't no kid though. That won't be enough to throw me off. Don't flatter yourself. Ain't no freedom with a woman like you. Is that not the way he likes it though? Really? To me, it seemed like you'd gotten used to being on my leash. Almost like you've been familiar in a similar relationship before. Now you're just talking crazy. You and her are nothing, which is just an admission. Thanks, Federico. I cut myself off before glaring at her. The flickering lights in here are starting to annoy me. You set me up, didn't you? See you later. Put the bill on his tab for me. Better waste no time in leaving the bar. I feel my entire body shaking while wine glass still in hand. She did it. The shock of what just happened sobers me right up. His regret, sorry. I didn't... it's been 2 minutes and a half, at least, by my count, and basically, we've already extracted information out of Federico. Wouldn't be more appropriate to say he was an open book. Now I can see why she came in the first place. She's dug up my past, which means she knows about my regrets. She came here just to tell me that. I slammed the money down on the table before throwing the bar door open and running out. Ah, damn it. I can't hold my frustration in after I head back to my hotel. I kick the sofa over and chuck pillows at the bed. I'm just letting all my anger spill out. This ain't good at all. Skill better have the info I need, otherwise I'm screwed. I can fend her off as long as I've got all the info I need on. I catch myself mid-panic. You know what? You know that won't be enough, damn it. Am I gonna go down without ever besting her? No, you're not. Well, sorry, yes, you are. You're never gonna best her. Assuming we end up electing each other, chances are we'll cause a standstill. The cards that we both hold will disappear as a result, meaning we won't be able to carry out any elections in the future. Then I'll just be living in fear of her. Now I know what I need to do. I'd say causing the standstill is probably the best situation. I gotta eliminate her no matter what. It's vital to me. If I can surprise Odette, then I can crush Scale as well. That's the conclusion I reach as I clean up the room that I just trashed. Thank you for at least cleaning the room, not leaving it to the room service. I spent the rest of yesterday reading through what I grabbed from the library after closing up shop for the day. This time around, we focused on material with information about an old book design, but nothing of note stood out. There wasn't anything too reminiscent of the design of our card books. I'm just getting started, though. I never expected to find something right off the bat. With that in mind, I head over to the bathroom to wash my face. Is that just a brief moment with Rinka? Yeah, that's what Rinka's doing. Skill finally rounds us up for 2 days after Odette came by to chat. Mira was with us too, but she's as cold as ever. So we're watching this from Federico's point of view. That's the gist of it. This should do well to get. This should do well to back up our thoughts regarding Odette's regret. Okay. Skill closes his explanation with a heavy tone. He told us about Odette's past. Born on a family farm, her mother passed away not too long after her birth. No one knows for sure whether or not the despair of losing his wife drove his father insane. Regardless, the fact that Odette suffered abuse by his hand. The abuse she received not long after hitting puberty resulted in a particularly drastic consequence. Her body became unable to sustain children. That reality must have crushed Odette. She left her father at the brink of death through use of tools on the farm before moving abroad. She made it a point to live by a port in order to erase her memory of her farm life. There she met a man in charge of her shipping company, which led her to spending most of her days at sea. The man took quite an interest in her, similar to how she considered him akin to a parent. Her hardy personality and a knack for the job quickly led to her being regarded as a fine member of his crew. None on the ship were aware that Odette's recklessness was spurred on by a lack of attachment to her own life, though. Odette's regret only grew as she aged. She made an effort to work hard and enjoy the present as much as possible. Granted, all that was just a prerequisite in regards to learning her actual regret. Looks like her father's still alive. She even managed to speak to him directly, it seems. Of course, the trauma from his own daughter's attack on him took a toll, and apparently he's in a mental hospital now. Mira kept her head down the entire time Skill was talking. It must hit her close to home, considering they're both women. Giving Bertha, yeah, there's the card. We got it. It's a rather worthless regret for someone whose mouth is off as much as her. That is very unexpected of you, Scale. Coming from Federico, that would make sense. He's part of the Mafia, he doesn't really do manners and stuff. Whereas Scale, I was gonna say the American hero, that's how he sees himself. The good guy. But I don't even know if he's American. I think he said he was. I don't think he might be. Might just be Japanese still. Skill mutters something to himself, but I can't quite catch it. More importantly, I finally got the hold of her cards. All of her cards. Just looking at this new one has me giddy. I've done it, at last. I finally got all her cards. I try my best not to grin like an idiot. I don't give a damn about her past. It's not enough to change my view of her. I mean, I would imagine your view of her is that she's a threat. Really? I don't have a future to speak of if I can't surpass it. Yeah, see? So it's a threat. All that's left now is I can finally stand toe to toe with her. All that's left is to elect her. She might like me back, but I can't let that possibility stop me. That friend of yours is quite something if they could gather that much information in just a few days. Thank you. A shame I can't tell you too much about my source, though. We'd be getting a bit too deep into my own identity. Mira responds with a quiet nod. So is Mihiro gonna elect Federico since she is one turn ahead of him? Because Federico can't elect... She can't elect... Yeah, Federico can't elect Mihiro, so Skill might elect thing. So if anything, I'm trying to think. Would it go off in succession? Mihiro electing Federico. Well, actually, I guess the priority would be Federico electing Odette first, then Mihiro electing Federico, then Skill electing Mihiro. Despite obviously the order being 2, 3, then 9. But that's only way to get all 4 of them off in succession. Because if it was the order they were elected in, it would have to be Mihiro first, which saves Odette, because Federico can't elect Odette. And Skill would be stuck with Odette to deal with. Yeah. At least that way, one of them survives. And then there's just Rinka and Alan in the corner. Just, yeah. I like how that's how we started. We started with Rinka as the protagonist, Alan as the antagonist, and it just came off. It just ended up with the other 4 being the big dramatic central piece, and those 2 just taking a side seat. Anyway, sorry. Looks pretty exhausted. Now that I take a proper look, talk about putting on a pretty face. Talk about putting a pretty face to waste. That said, she's right. I don't know who this friend of Skill's is, but they gather intel like a beast. That leads me to a thought. If this guy's got so many connections, that means plenty of people know him. These 2 will keep acting all calm and collected. Well, that ain't gonna last long. Once I surpass Odette, they're next. That day rolls around without anything resembling a progress for us. I do what I can to reach the truth about Divine Selection, but there's far too much information about regarding design concepts and such. It doesn't help that I'm not too familiar with the history in the first place. Part of me is ready to give up. I tried taking a picture of my card book and doing a reverse image search, but nothing worthwhile popped up. I'm honestly starting to feel like I'm at my limit, but I can't just throw in the towel. If I can't think of any other methods, then I should stick to this way for now. You're getting enough sleep, Vinny. You're getting enough sleep, Rennie. I got some during the first 2 periods, so sleeping during school, nice. Now you're starting to sound like me. Keeping the store open has inevitably led me to losing sleep. Oh, but maybe one of the regulars knows. My thoughts become words before I even realize it. The regulars at Linehouse have all manner of jobs. Plenty of elderly people too, so one of them might know something. I know I don't have the luxury to stop now, which helps me keep my priorities in check. She's done for. Mao's exasperated voice helps me in much the same way. Is Mihiro here? Yo. Nareen, I'm assuming. I keep forgetting how it's pronounced. This is not Naomi. Mihiro took the day off. Mihiro's absences have been growing more and more frequent. She can't afford to miss too many days due to her scholarship. But I'm sure she's aware of that without me having... What? She's aware of that without me having to point it out. Okay, I don't think about that. It's about time for us to head home. Want to head to the Linehouse, Nareen? Been a while since we last did that. I'm surprised you're the one inviting her. Not that I mind. While I appreciate the invite, I'm a bit busy today. See you. Alright, got it. Guess I'll head over myself. Naomi offers an apologetic bow before leaving the classroom. Now it's coming to the Linehouse though, so this will be the first time in a while that we both leave school at the same time. As for Naomi, She seems somewhat different today, especially considering how nervous she tends to be whenever she visits our classroom. I think that means she's found something. Yeah, heading over to work. News of Miharu's absence is worrying Naomi. That's what prompted her to come sit here on her own. Just to be at work. Naomi heard about how much Miharu worked from Rinka. That led her to assume that Miharu would have regular shift schedules, even in their situation. Leave. Coincidentally, though, Naomi comes across Miharu at the moment she enters. I have something I need to talk to you about. I'll be done in half an hour, so would you mind taking your seat? Can't guarantee you'll feel comfortable, though. Okay, I will, thank you. Naomi takes a seat on her own. Yumilcla and Hel direct her gaze towards her. Naomi fails to pick up on the jealousy felt by the others as they do so. Roughly half an hour later, Miharu returns in her school uniform and plops down in front of Naomi. Time has flown by for Naomi because she's had her face buried in a book the whole time. Miharu isn't comfortable discussing things with Naomi at her workplace as opposed to somewhere like the Linehouse, which she knows she has no real alternative. Naomi braves a quick few glances at the other customers, confirming that neither Scale nor Federico are present. Is it safe to assume that you haven't been able to materialize Scale's regret yet? Naomi gets straight to the point. It's plain to see how exhausted Miharu looks. The bags under her eyes and absent-minded gaze are enough to tell her that Miharu has been sacrificing sleep for the sake of research. You're right, I've been searching sports-related things in relation to a gold medal, but nothing worthwhile. I'm going to be eliminated next year at this rate. If that happens, it's entirely possible that Skill can get a hold of Rinka's card. Shouldn't you ask Rinka about this? She may be able to help you considering she's formed an alliance with her dad and Alan before. Naomi made sure not to tell Rinka about any of this until today. She's unable to... she understands that Miharu doesn't want Rinka to worry about her. There's a limit to how far one can drag it out, though. Naomi knows having that attitude is one that can lose what's precious to them. In her own case, it was her life that she lost, so she knows it better than anyone. Rinka should be able to do something. She was able to save even my life, after all. I can't. Not just because I don't want her to... don't want her to... tongue-tied. Not just because I don't want her to worry, but because I could also lead to the other participants getting their hands on her information. Miharu's immediate answer pains Naomi. She casts her head down, shaking it multiple times. She doesn't want her feelings to pour out all at once. She wants to explain things bit by bit. That's why she takes her time before looking back up at Miharu. That's an important note. Rinka won't care about the risks. She'll do anything to help, anything she can to help you. I don't want to see her throw herself into danger either. But she's the type of person who's willing to do whatever it takes for what's important to her, regardless. Seeing her work so hard hurts me, too. It makes me wish I could help her more myself. Watching her suffer over losing you scares me even more. I won't be able to handle it. Naomi's words take Miharu back. Sorry. They remind her of Rinka's despair over losing Naomi. Miharu opted to work with Scale to eliminate you precisely because she couldn't handle seeing Rinka like that. However, Rinka put herself in significant danger to eliminate you. That's why Miharu is resolved to not wanting to allow that to happen again. But that's not all. The relief she felt over Rinka's joy that Naomi was alive was undeniable. The foundation of Rinka's happiness had become clear to her. Even so, if asked to balance my own life against hers, now Miharu's gaze is one cast downwards. It isn't often for Naomi to see me heroes speak without confidence. That's why she puts every ounce of kindness she has into her next words. Most importantly, I don't want things to continue like this. If you're eliminated, then all of our time together will be undone as well. If that happens, then... She stops to take a deep breath before continuing. I'll cry so much that I'll shrivel up and die. Well, that'd be a shame. Mira notices that Naomi's attitude towards her has changed, not to mention the fact that Naomi herself hasn't noticed. Mira smiles and then nods her head. You might be the one who's changed the most out of us all. Let's go to the Lionhouse later then. Your tears don't have much effect on me, but upsetting Rinka certainly isn't something I want to do. Thank you. Naomi offers her thanks to Mira with a look of relief on her face. She finishes up her previously ordered Café Louet, maybe? I don't know, I don't speak French, before brushing the tears from her eyes. They make their way to the Lionhouse together after that. No one's here. The lights are off too. It's a bit early for her to close. It's a bit early for her to have closed for the day. This feels suspicious to Naomi, who had overheard Rinka and Mao's conversation earlier in the day. Part of her begins to worry that something's happened. Something might have happened. I think Alan's involved. Yet we haven't seen him in a bit. I make my way over to the base that we used to prevent the U's attack the week prior. The desolate view and dry wind almost feels nostalgic. But to be more accurate, it's Odette who brought me here after showing up at the Lionhouse out of nowhere. It was my choice to come, so I can't quite say I got dragged out here. Yo, Alan. What do you want? Oh, haven't you heard? The little birdie told me that Skill's paparazzi friends have connections to you too. Odette told me very little on the way here. I'm gonna be eliminated soon. Ain't no changing it. So I want to settle things with you right now. So that's about all she told me. Alan remained silent, displaying as little emotion as feather. Settle things. That's right. We only got to fight. We only got to fight once. You fight the once at the old geese's house. So I don't know which of us is stronger. I'm gonna guess Alan's gonna let her win, or he's not gonna try. He might still be stronger regardless. You're all here as to observe the result, Rinka. The first one to throw in the towel loses, and it ain't gonna be me. What makes you think I would agree to this? I only fought you back then out of necessity. Who needs a reason? Technically, Ursula can't spew that you only live once adage. But hey, enjoy this mortality while you can. I mean, she's got a decent mindset about it. She's right. Besides, ain't no changing you'll be able to bounce back if you run with the what? Ain't no chance you'll be able to bounce back if you run with your tails between your legs now. This is my last chance so dance with me, kid. She's calling him a kid. Is she supposed to be older? The cold tone through which Odette's words were delivered frightens me. I may know that she's easy to talk to now, but that cold-hearted attitude of hers is still scary. Maybe this is the killing intent that gets mentioned in books and films. There's one thing that's nagging me though. You're going to be eliminated? Why is that a surprise? I mean, it's you know. There's no way I wouldn't be surprised. Mira told me plenty about both Federico and Scale, but I've never thought they would be able to eliminate her. She may tread a thin line at all times, but I can't imagine her making a misstep. In fact, she's more likely to run full speed ahead, laughing all the while. Yet again, you feel compassion. How very like you. It's not quite it. You're awfully kind towards her yourself. I honestly find it hard to believe that she's going to be eliminated next based on her composure. She brought it up herself to say this is our last chance, though. You must be fully prepared for what lies ahead. Odette's gonna die. She's my enemy, I know that much, and yet I can't help but remember how we stopped you together and brought Naomi back. I know skills regret. Oh, so what? You've helped me once, at the very least. You gonna make a point soon? Odette glares at me. Her tone is dark. That alone prevents me from saying anything else. I don't got no issue with starting with you if you're gonna try to humiliate me. That's not what I recommend you stop the stuff-hearted attitude. Did you forget that I'm here as well? Gil Jones's regret is information I seek. You're going to tell it to me, whether it be on your own will or not. You're really determined to have a reason first, huh? I gradually came to understand what they're talking about. My own explanation has served as the spark Alan requires. He said he had no reason to fight Odette, but now he does. Yes, I'll fight to protect you, brat. I know no hesitation once my goal is clear. Defeat Odette and get information regarding Number 9's regret out of me. That's the goal he has set his sights on. I chose to observe the first fight. I chose to observe their fight from outside the storehouse. They'll likely have guns on them, so it only makes sense to head outside for this start firing at one another. I might not die if I get caught in the crossfire, but it's still going to hurt badly. Or it's still going to badly hurt. The wall should be thick enough to stop a stray bullet. What about the glass? I can't avert my eyes though. I'm determined to see their fight through. It's their way of settling things. But it likely doesn't need a proper reason. She's considered Alan a worthy foe, and simply wants to beat him for her own satisfaction. I'd be lying to see if I said I understood that thought process. Regardless, I have to see this through. My reason is too simple. My reason is simple too. This is a fight that encompasses a very life of Odette. Melancon? Have we ever learned her surname before? Then minutes later, the fight shows no sign of ending. Neither of them are able to land a specific blow, or significant blow. So I assume that trying to wear one another out. Their intent is made clear by their each and every action. I can't seem to take my eyes off them, not even for a second. I have no interest in martial arts and stuff, but I guess I understand the appeal of competitive fighting if it's as entrancing as this. They're both just making noises. Not only have they both lost their guns, but now they have also destroyed them. Okay. How they've managed that, I will never know. I've handled one myself now, so I know precisely how steady they are. Both have blades on them too, but even those have been broken. The weapon seems almost useless though. Not a single bullet or knife wound has been inflicted on either of them. Both are sweating profusely, but they clearly have much more left in their tanks. Another 10 minutes passes. It's been 40 minutes in this fight. The exhaustion must have hit them both at the same time, judging by the nature of the fight and fight changes. They are now keeping their distance from one another, as opposed to constantly rushing in like before. Odette is the first to step in and attempt to drag the fight out of the stalemate it has reached. She must have put all the meager energy she had recovered in the act. He launches a massive kick at him instead outside of his blocking range. He manages to avoid it, albeit barely. Following that, his fist contacts with Odette's face, or so it seems. She uses her forehead to take the brunt of his blow. His expression makes it clear that he's reeling from in pain, which Odette takes advantage of by kneeing him straight in the solar plexus. She keeps up a relentless assault following this, not allowing the opportunity to go to waste. Each blow is ferocious enough that I'd be knocked out cold after one hit, but he's taking every single one of them. He must have been biding his time while taking his hits, because he finds the right moment to claw at Odette's neck. One can't build up muscle in their throats, though the resulting damage is clear. She comes into a complete halt for a brief second, and now Alan launches his own attack. While Odette's assault was akin to a wild beast, Alan is most serene. There's a rhythm to it, almost like a dance. His movements are completely different from before. Not like Odette is simply allowing herself to be attacked either. She isn't dodging or blocking the incoming blows. She's biting at them. The more blood that flows, the harder and deeper she bites. Just as planned. Okay. The fight is far from over. I think that's probably a good enough time to call it there. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Hopefully I can see you in the next one. With that, goodbye.